Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Patey, pre-K intervention teacher from Prince Street Elementary. This week on day 2, you're going to read a story called The Shape of Things. This book talks about all of the shapes that you have learned this year. And it even shows you what you can do with those shapes if you use your imagination. When you're done reading the book, you can use the shapes at the end of the lesson to create your own picture. Okay, so now I've cut out all my shapes. Let's take a look at the shapes for a minute. There's a lot of shapes on here. Let's take a look. You can see that there are more triangles than there are rhombuses. Let's count the triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, we have 7 triangles. Now let's count how many rhombuses we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could say 7 is more than 4 because you know you have more triangles than you do rhombuses. And when you're working on your project today, make sure you tell someone at home some of the attributes of these shapes. Remember that fancy word, attributes? That just means to tell what you know about the shape, some of the properties of the shape. If I want to say an attribute of a triangle, I can say that a triangle has 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. That's pretty easy. So I bet you can guess what you could say about this square. Anyway, now that you have all of your shapes, your job today was to use your imagination and make a picture out of these shapes. So I was thinking, it's spring outside, and I've seen a lot of these outside, so I thought that I would try and make something to show you. See if you can guess what I'm making. Anybody think they have an idea? Think you have an idea now? I think I might make it a little fancier and that might help you. Well, if you guessed a butterfly, you were right. I used my imagination and my shapes to make a butterfly. That's just one thing you can make. I have one more thing that came to my mind that I could make. See if you can guess this one. I hope I have enough room on this piece of paper. And maybe they could be friends. I don't know. Think you know what I made? I don't know. Maybe if I make it a little fancier, you might guess. How about that? Check it out. I made a mouse. Maybe my mouse and my butterfly could be friends and you could tell a story about them. Now, if your imagination wasn't working great today and you couldn't think of something to make out of your shapes, remember the story that we read today called The Shape of Things. Think back to the story and think of something in that story. That's right. I remember in the story, they used their shapes to make a house. They used the rectangle, which had the attributes of 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 sides that were long, and 2 sides that were short. I used an oval, and I made my house out of a square and a triangle. I used a rectangle for my door, a circle for my doorknob, and more squares for the windows. And then I put the sun in there, and I used the circle. Hey, you could even put that butterfly or the mouse in there that I made. Then remember, if you don't have shapes at home, or you don't have scissors to cut your shapes out, that's okay. You can use shapes that you have at home, or you can even draw your shapes like I did in this picture. But remember, most of all, when you're working on this project today, have fun.